Hi everybody, today I want to introduce you to Tanya Munch. She's a mixed media artist and she's a fluid artist. She did a show recently in December and had a sold out show in our Art Healing Hearts auctions. Look at her work, it's so cool. I love it. It's like a stained glass technique over the top of fluid art backgrounds. And she does a lot of animals, but this technique is just really special. It actually incorporates a very interesting medium that you will be surprised by. Look at the painting that I bought in the last auction. I'm in love with it. It's a beautiful heron. I believe that's called a heron, or a crane maybe. I think it's a heron. It's so stunning. Let me bring you close so you can see. Look at the pearl details. That outline technique, I'm going to show you how she does it. It's a really special technique that she uses, and she just doesn't really want to make YouTube videos, so she allowed me to show the technique. Look at this hung in my home. I look at this every day. I love this painting so much. If you're interested, she is having a solo show October 1st in our Art Healing Hearts auction group right on Facebook, and you can catch her there coming up. Okay, so let's talk about the supplies you're going to need. A hot glue gun with glue sticks. I have this little Arteza kit they sent me, but you can use any glue gun. In fact, I'm going to recommend later on another glue gun that I actually ended up liking a little bit more than this one, and I'll tell you why as the video progresses. But if you can definitely just use whatever one that you have. You're going to need a razor blade, preferably one that has a little case to it so it's safer. You're going to need some spray glue, and I just got these at the Dollar Tree. And they actually worked fine. 70% alcohol. I put it in a spray bottle. 70% is important. Not 90%, but 70%. This is a copy. You're going to make a photocopy of the design that you want, and then you're going to need glass, a piece of glass. The best and easiest thing to do at Dollar Tree, I just got this glass Pane photo frame, and for $1. Well, you know, they're like $1.25 right now, but that's the best way to just get a clean, good piece of glass for this project. It does not work on acrylic, she said, so you know, don't do what I did, which is try it on acrylic and then fail first. You really need to do it on a piece of glass. So the first thing you do is, you know, get your piece of glass ready. I wipe mine down, clean it off, and then make sure it's big enough for the actual design that you want. And then I take my glue gun and I literally am tracing the design out over the top of the glass with the glue. This is her technique, and let me tell you, when I say this, it is not easy, okay? Her lines are so perfect and so intricate and so even, and I did not get that same effect. Let me tell you, I did not. I tried manipulating it with my finger there, you can see. No, this is not an easy technique to do, but I could see how if you spent time, you could definitely master it. And I also want to tell you, the type of glue gun you have makes a difference as well. This was really hard for me because it's really big for my hands, and also the lines were very large. So I actually got a smaller craft gun later on, and that seemed to work a little bit better. So, but you can certainly do this technique regardless of what you have. Now, as I'm going forward, you know, they're getting a little bit better and better, a little more easy to control. I don't ever use a glue gun ever, so this is literally, you know, the first time I'm using this. I also taped mine just so it wouldn't, you know, slide around or anything. And it dries in minutes, virtually a few minutes. It's already dried and there's nothing else to do. But you have to get this off of this glass, and you find that it's not as easy as you imagined. I did try to remove some of those little strings with a kneaded eraser. That was marginally effective. I would not say it was extremely effective. All right, so this is her technique. You spray alcohol on the glass. Again, the 70% alcohol is important because it doesn't evaporate too quickly. She said the 90% just almost evaporates and doesn't get underneath the piece. So use the 70%. That's the kind you can buy at the Dollar Tree anyway. And then you just loosen with your little blade there, and then the whole design just lifts off the glass. And now you have your little design. So she walked me through this whole process. This is literally her technique from start to finish. She said she uses some little craft scissors to trim off the extra strings, which is what I try to do here. Look how messy my design is. Okay, and then the next thing you do is you want to put it on your background. I looked at this background for a minute. I thought, man, I've been wanting to do something. This is a round canvas that I basically collaged with all my gel papers, with a bunch of gel papers. And I'm really loving this canvas. I've been wanting to use it for a while, but only having one flower, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I should try the technique first on something smaller. So if I mess it up, I'm not ruining that piece. So I pulled out this little sunset pour that I did, and this is just like a little 6x6 gallery wrapped canvas, and I kind of like that little flower following the natural line, the natural little curve right there. It just fits perfectly, and I thought this would be a good one to try out. So the next part of her technique is to spray adhesive the design onto the canvas. So what you want to do is use that spray adhesive. Now it was very slick. When I tried spraying it on there and then sticking it on the canvas, it wasn't great. It did not stick well, but there's a workaround for that, and I'm going to show you. I just used that dollar store adhesive, and I put a bunch of heavy stuff on the canvas. Now, the other option would be to use a stronger adhesive like a 3M professional adhesive, but this actually ended up working fine, so I'm not mad. Now, the one thing I did want to work out is see the designs made by the big glue gun. I decided to buy a little detailed glue gun. This is just like a detailed, it was very inexpensive on Amazon, but so I'm gonna see how delicate the lines can get compared to the regular one. Yeah, so I already know I'm gonna do better with this smaller glue gun. But if you wanted more chunky lines, or this is the only glue gun that you have is like a regular size one, just use what you have and see if you even like the technique before you go buy stuff. That's what I did, but oh, darn it. Sorry, I should have warned you. I cut my finger. Be really careful about the glass. Having those exposed edges is a challenge. I actually decided for the next one I put a little piece of tape around the edges of the glass because my finger just kept bleeding and bleeding, and you can see me putting alcohol on it, but look at how delicate the little lines are that you can get with this thing. And that blowtorch there, I thought, well, maybe I could blow off some of the strings. She also said that was something that she did, was to get rid of those strings. So now you can see my second attempt here. Let me get closer. We're getting some detailed lines, some more delicate lines, and some, it's just way easier to control. So when I spoke to her about this, she said that, yeah, she uses, this is about the size of the tip that she uses for her paintings. So yeah, and I'm just getting better. That's the thing, you can imagine how much she has practiced this technique. She's made hundreds and hundreds of paintings using it. So for me, you know, this is only my second attempt, and I'm not very good with a glue gun. I also find that I just pick up that string right as it leaves the glue gun. It helps me, so if you feel like investing in just, you know, a small little detailed glue gun. I'll leave a link to that in my description box. This is the one that I decided to choose. And there's me putting the masking tape because it gives me a place to grab that's not just that raw edge. So I thought about briefly for a moment, should I add another piece to this and make it more? Played around with that idea for a bit, but decided not to. Okay, here's the fun part. This is all fun, but you can see for this, you got to fill in the gaps, right? That's what makes the shape. Now you got the shape and you want to fill it in. I use a little bit of just the Artist Loft white, and this is just the fluid acrylic. You can use any fluid acrylics you want, by the way. This is what I had just laying around and that was close to me that I thought would match the canvas. I decided to do some pearl because I really like that, and so I made my own pearl using some interference, gold, and some interference. This is by Deco Art mixed with the white paint. I think I added a little bit of Floral to one of them as well, and she said she just uses her regular pouring paints. This is a golden interference. I think this was the violet, and that's the fluid acrylics, and it's pretty. Interference paints are, you know how they are, they're not that dramatic until they dry. So then once they dry, that was a little Floral right there. Once they dry is when they get really, really pretty. So you're going to use any fluid acrylics that you have, or any acrylics that you have, and you can just add a little Floral and turn it into a fluid acrylic. And I used a little dropper to put this into the flower because that's what I wanted to do. Oh, this is red sparkle and gold sparkle from Bling It as well. I just wanted these to be really, really pearlized, so that's the other thing I used, was a little bit of that Bling It by Color Art. Well, okay, a lot. That was actually a mistake. A lot dropped in there, but it's really pretty. You guys, you can use any background you want for this technique. I would love to play around more. I have actually a few backgrounds that I've been thinking about using this technique on, and it's really a matter of getting better with the actual glue gun so I could, plan better. It seems like I would get better with time, but another thing I wanted to try off camera, I want to let you know, I tried just putting the glue gun and doing it directly on the canvas. It does not stick. And so this is why her technique is so unique. She spent a lot of time figuring out what works and what doesn't work. So, all right, now we're going to show this up close. I took a dropper and I fill it with the paint, and it's fairly fluid, you can see there. And now I'm just filling in the lines. Okay, one of her tips was overfill the lines, because you have to think it's going to totally dehydrate and dry down, and you want it to kind of, not totally fill up the lines, but she said, make it really, really full. So I added one interference color and then another interference color to the bottom part, thinking, well, maybe I could swirl them together. Of course, I'm just trying all this out, and I have no idea how it's going to work out. Tanya has really taken a lot of time to develop this technique, like I was saying, and she is a master at it. She's creating beautiful paintings and selling them regularly. I mean, she's a very prolific artist. I've known her for about six or 7 months now. Well, longer than that, I guess it's been almost a year. She produces an incredible amount of artwork. She shows in galleries, she shows locally, she sells locally, and she sells online, and also in our auction group. She had a sold out show, and like I said, you know, she's having another one in October. So I wasn't sure. It's like, is this it? I don't know. There is one more part of this process that makes it all really special, and I'm going to bring you back and show you the very last thing that we need to do to make this truly magical. But first, the Floral Show. Join us for this exclusive event, one day only, Thursday, August 18th and 19th on Facebook. Here's one of the artists. Kimberly Dean is an alcohol ink artist. Look at this, you guys. This is the kind of art that we're having, the quality of art that we're having in our auctions right now. And it is absolutely stunning. Her work is breathtaking. This is all alcohol inks. These are done on tiles. They will be, most of them are going to be mounted in these beautiful boxes, wooden boxes. I can't wait to show you. These are all of the pieces that are going to be in the show. Look at that one. Oh my gosh. She's not the only one either. We got Susan Card. She's a mixed media artist. She had a sold out show the last time that she was in our auction. Look at these pieces, you guys. She has a beautiful process, which is basically she's drawing and creating these whimsical pieces with all of this movement. Subtracting and adding layers. It's really a beautiful process, and her work is gorgeous too. And then we have Dana Marie. She's a mixed media artist as well. These artists all are focusing on florals. That's why we call it the Floral Show. So you want to get your flower on, you got to join us. Look at Dana's pieces. I'm in love with every single one. I have a feeling I'm going to end up going home with one of these after the auction. Oh, she also has these gorgeous mugs. Look at those. I know. So you have to come join us for Art Healing Hearts auctions on Facebook. 3 fantastic artists, one day, Thursday, August 18th through 19th. You have to come join us on Facebook to be a part of it. And I can't wait to see you there. The Floral Show. Sandra Lett and I put this auction together, and we're really, really excited. Okay. Back to this. This is the dried result. Now, it is not that exciting. Honestly, I was a little disappointed. I was like, oh, I just don't got this. But then I remembered there's one more step that has to be done, and this is it. This is a Liquitex acrylic marker. This is the Antique Gold by Liquitex. You could use any metallic marker that you want. This is the one that Tanya Munt recommended to me. And honestly, I just didn't think it was going to make that much difference. But this part was incredibly satisfying. Covering up all of the clear glue with that beautiful gold. Basically, we're just varnishing that part. It also covers up all of the I was gonna say overspray, but it's all of the places where the paint has gone over. And so I'm gonna speed this process up a little bit because it took me a little while. But you can just see instantaneous elegance. And suddenly I'm watching as I'm coloring this in, which is, it's very easy to glide on when you use this pen, by the way. All the little imperfections are gone. It just draws your eye to the shape of the flower petals. You add that gold sparkle. I love this process, and actually this is the part that I cannot wait to do again and again. It was just it just totally transformed this piece, and I'm so happy that Tanya wanted me to share this process with you. I feel very privileged that she allowed me to film the process and share it with you. So this is the final piece, and then of course you're going to spray it with your normal spray, glossy spray varnish or whatever you want to use. I like a few different golden or whatever. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Now, of course, you know, this is a little whimsical tester piece, but just imagine what can be done with your imagination and a few simple tools. You can make a beautiful piece of art. Thank you so much, Tanya Munt, and thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe and hit all notifications so I can make more art videos just for you.